Hello guys, welcome to the Trading Parrot. 6 days in a row of outflows from ETFs on Bitcoin. And finally, yesterday we had the first day of inflows with 240 million. We also had around 100 million Tether bought of BTC. In today's video, we'll look into those bullish news along with some tweets and the questions from my community. Guys, if you like this type of content, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell to get notified every time I put out one of these videos. Can we get 1,000 likes in this video? That will be fantastic. If you're looking for a new exchange, 2bit could be the best option out there. This exchange has been created by the same people that created Bybit, but as an alternative non-KYC. You get still access to all the altcoins, leverage, and there is a welcome sign-up bonus of $50 that you get as soon as you enter in the exchange, even before depositing. Then if you do your own deposit, you can claim up to 30,000 in rewards depending on trading volume and size of your deposit. Let's have a look at the news because there's been a big shift in the sentiment. We have 8, 7, and 6 out of 10 bullish, which completely is the opposite that we saw in the past week. The first one is Tether buying almost 1,000 Bitcoin. That's around $100 million. Is not a lot relative to what they are currently already holding, which is around 87,000 Bitcoin or $8 to $9 billion. Then we have the first day after a 6-day streak of outflows. This inflow of 240 million puts a little bit of a sign of the first potential green candle on Bitcoin. And we are also seeing a surge in ZCash and privacy coins, not just ZCash, but it's also about Monero. We'll talk about this thing, this effect that every time that we see a surge in these privacy coins, we also see a peak on Bitcoin. Why is that? And I think we have a final answer, which we're going to discuss later in the video. Of course, initially we can say that the attraction, the motivation to move into privacy coins is because the regulatory oversight is intensifying across the world. A reminder that the crypto intelligence report that I produce every day with my team is out there for free. You can find it on Twitter, in a YouTube post, on my Patreon community, anywhere, and you can read it for free. The link is this one. This daily report overlooks over 30 different crypto YouTube channels, and it gives you an amazing executive summary where you can really oversee everything that is being said in the major YouTube channels, not just the major ones, but the ones that we actually like. I produced a video a while ago with my favorite YouTube channels, and these are part of them. This actually is something that I made for myself using Cloud Code AI technology to make sure that I don't miss what is being said out there, specifically in YouTube, and narrowing down to the channels I follow. Here you can see the market polls, very short summary with everything. For example, Bitcoin Hyper notes a 1618 Fibonacci extension at 99K. More Crypto Online warns the failure to reclaim 105. Satoshi Staker maintains midterm targets of 180K. So you can see all the different perspectives. You can go to the feature voices today and see what Easy Crown is saying. He identified a blue 377 EMA as the critical level where all major lows in this current cycle have been found. Go and give it a look. It's got even thumbnails, key themes to watch, and at the bottom of the report you're gonna find trading setups. These are pretty much summaries of the setups trading that people are talking out there in different YouTube channels. Let's go with more Crypto Online as the first social post. In this one, it calls my attention because this is a bearish target. It says, I am watching a potential bearish cross on the monthly MACD. That is the one that we are having there, that it happened as well in the previous cycle when we were entering a bear market. And you can see that he's using these Fibonacci extensions and potential ABC waves. Notice that the first wave A in here is located roughly around 60 something K, possibly maybe 50 something. And then a B wave straight back into 80. So that is a very deep correction in my opinion. The C final wave in here is at 43K, but then there is an A, C, or some alternative patterns taking you back into B, which is 130, and that is crazy. Going back into the privacy coins, Rogue One is saying Binance just made it clear, if your ZCash has ever touched shielded pool, it's no longer welcome. We'll only accept coins that stayed fully transparent, where every transaction and sender can be traced by their KYC AML systems. In other words, privacy coins are fine as long as they are not private. Your ZCash must behave like Bitcoin with a glass wallet. The moment it's shielded, it's tainted. Translation, Binance isn't rejecting your ZEC, they are rejecting your right to financial privacy. And it's a mixed bag in this case, right? Because remember, one thing is your privacy, but on the other end, some of these coins that hit the shielded pool could come from actual money laundering and illegal activities, right? Someone could be scamming a lot of people and putting those coins in ZCash just to make sure that everything that they manage to scam out of you goes private back into Binance, and then they sell it. And they really don't want to be messing with that. So it's not fully truth that they just want to push back on your privacy only, but also on those scammy flows that they don't want to deal with. Think about this, Binance gets involved in selling coins that were stolen or any scam. That is the day that the governments go after Binance. This was awkward. This is probably produced with AI. I mean, not probably. This is produced with the AI. I just laughed so hard that I couldn't hold myself, and I'm no longer laughing, but I hope you find it funny. Many of you won't, but I don't care. Ted, Binance has started to smash red button in the past hour. This isn't look good for Bitcoin. And let's remember that Binance has been selling like crazy Bitcoin. And there's a caveat there. I don't call that Binance selling Bitcoin. It's a selling that is happening in the platform called Binance. It's the same. I hate when people say BlackRock is buying, because they use that to manipulate the perception that you have. You think that BlackRock is intelligent, therefore you think that someone intelligent, smart money is buying. But really, BlackRock is also a platform. You can open an account on BlackRock and you can buy Bitcoin through their ETF. That doesn't make BlackRock intelligent at all. You are just using their services and you are paying them fees. They are there for the fees, not for Bitcoin going up or down. Same with Binance. The only caveat on Binance is that there can be potentially some actions that they are doing together with other players, market makers, to manipulate the market and to liquidate people, which is something that we were talking that could have happened last week, but it got discarded. Charles Edwards again today is saying OG Bitcoin wells are dumping. There's been lots of distribution across all this range. We monitor all of that. Remember the times when I had the indicator Big Well Explorer? We catch all of that with that. These days we follow that using CryptoQuant because the indicator is no longer working. They rug pulled the data source on TradingView and I could no longer use it. This chart gives a good visual of how many super whales are cashing out of Bitcoin. All lines here are 7+ year on-chain spent from pre-2018 era OG Bitcoin holders. So yeah, there is a lot of selling in here. There is a lot of fear against a recession incoming that I suspect is hitting the peace of mind of these OG Bitcoin holders. Titan of Crypto says that Bitcoin bullish case. I shared this chart earlier this year. This is what I envisioned for BTC towards the end of the year. He's expecting this area to be a bear trap. The price goes for an all-time high at 130, and that is the final peak that sends you back into the bear market. Notice that he's using some sort of fractal. I ignore where he took this fractal from, but he's also referring to the Wyckoff distribution that could be playing out around here. If that plays out well, we should form a trading range located relative to the previous previous accumulation trading range, so somewhere around the range between 70 to 90 possibly. Ali is saying that in the past 2 years, Bitcoin BTC has always rebounded when traders realized losses fell below minus 12%. It's now at minus 11%, signaling a potential rebound ahead. Ted is saying that BTC is holding above the 100K level for now. The Coinbase Bitcoin premium is still deeply negative, which shows a lack of demand until BTC closes a strong daily candle above the 106K level. Expect lows. You know what's my opinion on 107. We went into 103. We reached out our hand outside that resistance on the 4-hour and we saw the first rejection. If you were been watching my channels, that video explains it very well. It's called the first reclaim attempt fail, and on the 4-hour we were unable to do that first breakout from there. That is the first step. The second is to reclaim 107, and to me that is the line in the sand to say, yes, this was just a bear trap. We are gonna reclaim 100 and we are gonna get out of the boost, and then we increase significantly the chances that at the very least we go into 117K, where we have the most liquidity of the past 3 to 1 month, talking about liquidity pools. You can go into my technical video today, which is this one, tag of war at the moment, that went 20 minutes live. You're currently watching the one where I focus on socials and news. Dan is saying BTC, it is not uncommon for BTC to trade at a discount on Coinbase. This happens every now and then during larger downturns. Yep, that gap that was referred in the previous tweet by Ted tends to be in the bull market an opportunity, as you can see in here. We are currently there. It's similar kind of the alpha when you look for negative funding rates as well. This discount gets created when the market sees a lot of spot selling coming from Coinbase, usually from ETFs and US investors. So given that yesterday we have the first inflow of 240 million, we could see that this red comes back into the green. That is promising. Of course, you cannot just trade this and think, well, because we're back in the green, then we are now back in an impulsive wave that's going to take out 130K. No. But in the future, if we reclaim 107 and you look at this red, you're going to consider that as a potential confluence bullish signal. The fact that it's down negative isn't bullish, but if price can sustain or starts grinding higher after absorbing such a period of selling, that in itself could be a bullish sign, and I agree with that. You can mine 1 Bitcoin in Iran for $1,000 aroundish and sell it for 103K right now. I don't know if this is absolutely truth. I cannot see what is the actual source of this. It says NFT evening. I don't know how accurate, how serious is this slide in here, but it's funny to watch, to think that if we can all move to Iran and start mining Bitcoin, we can just become rich in a matter of whatever long it takes us to really get those Bitcoins mined in time before anything happens bad. Tether buys 961 Bitcoin worth around 100 million per on-chain. This is apparently the proof, the screenshot that shows in the blockchain that really happened and that is tagged as belonging to Tether. If history repeats itself, Bitcoin could reach 265,000 soon. And I think this is just basically betting hard on the idea that the 4-year cycle for Bitcoin is finished and that we have already confirmed that. And I think that is definitely not the case. We have not proven that. That is just wishful thinking so far. It's based on fundamentals, and you know, fundamentals can send you skyrocketing and fundamentals can also send you to hell. We have huge fundamentals at 69K last cycle, and 99% bought into those fundamentals before they got wrecked with that drawdown of 70-80% in in the bear market. Liquidity from M2 was particularly pumping like crazy at 69K. Bitcoin started correcting before liquidity M2. Tesla didn't do a crap to save Bitcoin. Indeed, Elon Musk posted 69K in a tweet right before the all-time high, and that was the peak of the cycle. Let's look at my community that continues to be quiet. We've seen 20, 40 comments, questions all the time, and it's been 2 days that is declining into complete quietness. Only the hardcore fans are still commenting, and there is a case really for a market blues, like Lara is saying. We're just ping-ponging, and that narrowing channel on the 4-hour RSI gotta be a breakout soon, right? Whether up or down. And yeah, we look into in my previous video, the technical one, that we have this falling wedge in there that is keeping trap the momentum. If we start now bouncing back up, this could turn into a double bottom that has a target beyond that neckline of the head and shoulders. So yeah, Bitcoin has everything required now to recover. It's just missing one thing. It needs to do it. That's it. Unfortunately, yeah, keep an eye on this bad boy there. That bad boy could potentially spoil the party if it wants to really go into 90K. That's gonna leave a CME gap below the price if we do it today. And then over the weekend, the market blues is gonna be degenerate if we do such a thing. BMO is saying, for general markets video, please look at the US 10-year yield. I can have a look at that. I'm gonna see if I can manage to make the general market video right after this one. Other than that, please give this video a like if you enjoy it. It is meant to be a little bit more for us to look at the news, at the socials, at my community, complementing what we do with the technicals, not replacing it at all. Have a great weekend. I'll see you in the next one. Hit the like, subscribe, write down a comment. I'll see you. Bye-bye.